addicts, welcome to my channel. I am Paolo Trianni and we're going to discuss the conferences that have happened recently. That's the PlayStation one, the Meta one and the Apple one, okay? If there has been any others, then I don't know about them, okay? So, anyway, let's start with the PlayStation. The games they showed were okay, you know. I can't wait for Synapse after seeing some previews. And yeah, I can't wait for Resident Evil 4. But it was lacking a little bit in content, but you know how games come, they just snap out of existence sometimes and into existence. And they're on the store before you know it. Like Cosmodread, did anyone know that was coming? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't know that was coming. But yeah, ended up on the PlayStation Store and yeah. And then there's so yeah, I kind of thought it could have showed a little bit more, I think. And then same with Meta. We're going to go to talk about Meta. I think that they could have showed more games as well. Didn't seem like a whole lot, and a lot of it seemed kind of indie, not really AAA, except for probably Asgard's Wrath, and that didn't look AAA. And that's mainly because of what I want to talk about now, which is also the Quest 3. I think the Quest 3 has some upgrades, but I don't think everybody's interested that much in mixed reality. I think some people are kind of hoping, you know, just for some better graphics. And it does say 2 times the GPU power, but I am skeptical about what that can bring to the Quest 3. But at the moment, the Quest 3, regardless of not having things like face tracking, eye tracking, foveated rendering, dynamic because of the eye tracking missing, I still think the form factor being smaller, it being, you know, better fit in that regard, and you know, it does have mixed reality to play with, gives it something worth buying. I do think it's a better option than any headset on the market still because of its value. Because you get a whole package, and then you get what, like I said, they've already got 500 plus odd games, and there's going to be a lot of upgrades to those games as well that's in there to use the new processor that will be in it. But what I don't understand is, why haven't we got a semi-tethered VR headset from Meta? Yeah, they probably don't want to do PC VR, but why not have the processing power and everything in a backpack, you know, in some small form factor backpack? Because that would be a really smart idea, wouldn't it? Then you could, like, take the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck is being successful because everyone likes Steam, Valve. You know, Valve if Valve flipping spray painted a poo in gold, people would want it. And with Valve, you know, a Steam Deck, it's been a huge success, and it has been pretty good. And some other people have done stuff similar to it, like ASUS's Ally, which is really, really good. It's got a more powerful processor in it. So why not connect a processor like that? You just don't need the screen, and it would be a small form factor then without the screen and the joysticks. And then it'd be something about that size maybe, and then it can fit on your backpack. And then the batteries can fit down here too, and then all you got is the cable just coming up down the back here, and it won't feel bad, because the reason I don't like the cable is that you trip on it all the time. So, you know, if it's not a cable going all the way to the PC, or, you know, something ridiculous that can get tangled up in a hoist or something like that, then I think it would work, because it won't get tangled up, because it'll turn with you, won't it? So I just don't understand why that doesn't exist yet. And Meta, if you're watching this, make that happen. Why not? Have it all in there. Have like an AMD flipping APU with stocks of DDR5 memory, and use NVMe. I hope you've used NVMe this time, because, you know, the super fast stuff that you get in the PlayStations and the Xboxes these days, not the stuff, not just normal NAND crap, you know, just use some better stuff, because that's one of the reasons why it was slow before. And with the Quest 1 as well, it was quite slow. I don't think the Quest Pro is that slow, but you know, there you go. but support it. Support Quest 3. We want to see some mixed reality games come out. We want to see some of the graphics that you're promising that's 2 times better. Because some of the graphics we see in the Quest 2 is diminished, hugely diminished. Because you've got to remember, a lot of indie companies make these games, and they don't exactly spend years and years and years making it look amazing. I mean, you've got great looking games in the Quest 2, for instance, Propaganda, was it Paradise Hotel or whatever it's called? And then you've got Red Matter 2, which looks amazing in the Quest 2, looks amazing in Quest Pro with foveated rendering. So we know you can do it, but there's a lot of games that you can't do. So yeah. And then we're going to go to Apple. Apple has all the bells and whistles. People are screaming about how great it is, but it's got one big, massive exclamation mark for me. Well, 2 if you count the price. One thing, not counting the price this time round, is the games. I mean, I'm a gamer, right? So I want to play VR games. And so one of the things I'd like to do is play games. So did they show any games? Not really. I mean, Apple has games on the iOS, but VR games, some maybe, because of the whole kind of like shove it into a plastic VR headset crap, the mobile VR kind of rubbish that doesn't really work, and I don't recommend it to anyone. But yeah, if they could access the Steam store of VR games or the Oculus store of VR games, it would be fantastic. That's not going to happen, I don't think. I did hear something about an emulator, but I wouldn't hold out for it. So one, it's overpriced it's priced out of pretty much most people. Regardless of how good it is, it's priced out. It's so, it does look good. From people that have actually used it, says it's amazing. I think Upload VR said something about it recently as well, and I've watched that, and it does sound amazing, especially the pass-through. The pass-through sounds like the best ever pass-through. The screen resolution obviously is one of the biggest, or the biggest, I think, that we've ever seen. It has eye tracking. It has all the bells and whistles, pretty much, that we want in a VR headset. But it's 3,500 bones, and that is a lot of money for a lot of people. You could buy a car for that. It'd be second hand. You might even buy a brand new car for that, imported or something. It's a lot of money. And for a lot of money to get a headset to play maybe 1 or 2 games that Apple has produced, which may be really good games, it just seems a bit empty, doesn't it? So I think the next step for Apple is, I know a lot of people on here are going to say, well, it's not made for gaming. It's made for productivity. I can't virtually say that word for some reason. And stuff like that. But it also seems almost a waste of that as well, really. I mean, like, you got to spend 3,500 so you can talk to somebody in VR. I don't think so. What if, though, because we haven't seen the pass-through in Meta Quest 3, what if it's just as good? Then the Meta Quest 3 is only missing eye tracking. And, yeah. So, I think it's a bit priced out. There is some good stuff, though, about the Apple Vision Pro, and that's... So basically, if they're starting to make it and they sell quite a few to some of the, obviously, people with more money than sense, or some of the people that have money to throw away. I wish I had that much money to throw away. I wish I don't. And too much money for sense is the people that don't have the money that are still going to buy it. Please don't do it. You'll just hurt yourself. Do it when it goes down in price or something. It probably will. Don't wreck your life or your mortgage or whatever or something just because you're desperate to have this Apple device. I know what people are like with Apple products. So yeah, I think it's all been a little bit disappointing, and ironically, if you want a bit of one and a bit of the other, so I want Synapse, I want to play Synapse, I want to play Asgard's Wrath 2, regardless of it not looking great. as great as I'd expect. Asgard's Wrath 1 was beautiful. It was an absolutely beautiful masterpiece of a game. It's in one of my top 10. It's still in my top 10 games for sure. And I'd wouldn't the Apple just to see what it looks like, you know, inside. I think everybody who's watching this right now would want an Apple if they were given one. For no doubt they would not say. I mean, well, I suppose if you're a person that hates Apple from the ground up, because some people didn't want to sign up to Facebook because they hate Facebook because of the paranoia, or they're scared that, you know, someone might find they like red shirts or something because, you know, it was posted online or something. Or someone might know their age, personal details and stuff like that. I don't get it really. I mean, I've got people that prefer to use other stuff like Instagram, and that's still owned by Meta, so it's confusing to me. But each to their own. As for comfort goes, it looks really comfortable, doesn't it, the Vision Pro? The Vision Pro looks comfortable. Meta keeps saying how brilliantly comfortable the Quest 3 is, but it's just got the generic strap still. Poltergeist in my house? Might have been my cat. I think it more likely is my cat. Sleeping on the windowsill just knocked something off, I think. It actually knocked off a flipping NAND drive. An old-fashioned NAND drive. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doubtful that the Quest 3 is going to be super comfortable out of the box. I think that it more likely will need a third-party strap attachment. I've got a Kiwi one, and I've got the Elite one. The Elite's still on there. The Kiwi one's not on my Quest 2. And obviously my Pro I can't change, but I've got like a head part on my Pro 2, and it's not that bad. The Pro 2 comfort's not... It's probably the best one Meta's done, to be fair, when it comes to comfort for me, but it still gets sore up here. The PlayStation, for instance, VR2 comfort is exceptional in places, but where it crimps the nose is awful. It's painful, and it's also too heavy. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not something you're comfortable putting on all the time because it just feels very clunky, and it's a bit of a chunk monster. And you kind of get that a little bit, I think, with the Vision Pro as well, because it's got that massive back strap on it. But yeah, that's generally my thoughts on what I've actually seen so far. There's obviously some games that Meta are going to release that I'm excited about. There's obviously Resident Evil 4 and Synapse, and maybe a few others, and I might even get Cosmo Dread because I've not even played that yet. I might get that for the PlayStation VR instead, just so I have the OLEDs working for me, the OLED screen working for me. Apple Vision Pro, I've not seen any games. So, yeah, about that. And I don't think there's any way in the world I'm ever going to get to buy it on release. I may have to buy it when it drops in price, who knows? But at the end of the day, it's all about the content, isn't it? If you haven't got the content, then, you know, I'm a gamer, so I'd want games. So Apple, if you're watching this, which I doubt very much, but someone from Apple might be watching this, so plug games for it, okay? There's a huge gaming community. Plug the games, and then someone, you know, will be more tempted to buy it then. But you see, like, you know, I've been tempted to buy a big screen, Beyond. I've been tempted to buy Crystal, Pimax Crystal, because I've got no hate towards Pimax. You know, they were building up their VR industry, and I did think their VR headset, when I first tested it, one of the first really large ones, was very uncomfortable. But I started off with their Pimax 4K, and I had real bad dead pixels on it. But I think they've gone leaps and bounds over the years, and I think that the new headset's hugely improved. But then it's about the content, and they do have some, but it's not much. Where big screen Beyond is going to have the whole Steam library as well, so, but it's tethered. And I don't mind tethered too much, but it's clearly great not to have a lead. So there's a lot of temptation out there. I heard the new videos on the Lynx recently. The Lynx it looks like it might end up coming to the point where it will be shipping and it's a pretty decent headset. I don't think it looks that great personally, but to me, but that's opinionated. So you might think it looks great because you see, I think the Quest Pro looks all right at the front, but people don't think it looks all right at the front. So, you know, it's opinionated. I actually thought the Lynx was Atari because, you know, Atari bought out the handheld Lynx, didn't they? So when that Lynx was coming, I thought it was going to be Atari, and I thought, well, if Atari is making something it's probably going to be really good. But it's not. It's a separate company, so it's not Atari. Shame. But positive about that as well, because I heard the pass-through is not too bad, but the screens are pretty decent. But I think the top one for me at the moment is the big screen Beyond. I think everyone's raving on about it. It's now got a larger field of view as well because they've changed the optics in it. So, but it's tethered. But other than that, I think that headset, I think comfort is the right way to go sometimes. And I think that they've really nailed down the comfort in that headset, and they've really got it really small, and it's, and it looks decent, doesn't it? One of the problems I had with the Valve Index is that it was a bit heavy. Even though they made the strap really comfortable, and it is a very comfortable headset, you could still feel the weight. You could still feel the weight of the Valve Index, and I just felt, it should be, they should try to chop down that weight a little bit. Hopefully they'll do that with the new one, the rumored Deckard VR. Hopefully will be better, and hopefully they'll take also that advice of how to connect it up to the Steam Deck to make it a mobile device and have Steam Deck VR. It'll be fantastic. It's just make the Valve Index pancake lenses to get rid of the majority of the glare, because pancake lenses come with a little glare, I believe. I think I see a little bit of it in my Quest Pro. I heard there's a ton of it in some other devices, and it's pretty good in other devices as well, where pancake lenses are, like the big screen Beyond, etc. So add pancake lenses, and then add a wheel to adjust the IPD, add eye tracking, foveated rendering, dynamic, and then have a little cable come down and connect it to a Steam Deck or something, or shrink the Steam Deck, have it multi-layered with multi-layered cooling. Add that new cooling system. Oh, what's that new cooling system? AirJet. Add AirJet in it. Well, if you add AirJet in it, it would cost too much, but copy it? No, that would be the wrong thing to do. Design something similar that ain't a copy to AirJet, and then have it cooled that way, and then it would be really silent and it would be super cooled. And I think that would be brilliant. And even if it's not super silent, if it's down here, it's going to be less. And you've got the cans. Make sure it's got the same frigging. Don't change a thing about the flipping audio on the Valve Index, okay? Because it's the best audio ever, right? Leave the audio. I mean, you can change the mic. I mean, the mic's amazing, but we've seen it can be a tiny bit better. Big screen Beyond. Oop, that was a bit of a noise there. So anyway, that's genuinely my verdict. I think the best thing to look out for is the Quest 3, because if you've got a PlayStation 5, you can get a PlayStation VR headset, but like I said, you're going to have maybe a little bit of discomfort here and here mainly on your nose. And I think that the games they're offering will be good. I think it will just be, what comes out in the Quest 3 that ain't, exclusive to the Quest 3 will come out on the PSVR. So yeah, I think we'll be pretty damn good there. I think older games need to be updated, because I'm really afraid that people are going to go in there and buy an old PlayStation VR game and it just won't work for their VR2. I think that's a big problem. I do know there's this list saying what it supports and doesn't support, but people are just going to see VR and they're going to buy it. So that needs to be made simpler, or the devs need to update to PSVR 2, which would be helpful for them because it will sell their product. Obviously, games that are already dead, like Rigs, Guerrilla Games, won't bring that back. And I just think Quest 3 is the same price as the PlayStation VR and everything's in it. So you get your whole system in there, and the tracking's, well, we haven't tried the tracking yet, but the tracking has been pretty decent in the past. I know people's had some issues with the Rift S. I had absolutely no issues whatsoever with the Rift S. It was absolutely amazing tracking. So much better than the Quest 1 was at the time. And I think the Quest 2's been nothing but perfection. Pretty much. Obviously, you'd lose it a little bit in certain places. The Quest Pro, I think the Quest Pro is like 90% to 99% to being as good as base stations because of the cameras on the controllers. It's the best inside out tracking there is on the market. On the Quest Pro, the tracking's brilliant. There was some software issues with it when you first started the headset, but they fixed that in a recent update. But definitely don't buy the Quest Pro because it definitely isn't worth it just for the eye tracking that the Meta seems to not support very much in games. I mean, a lot of games have been released and it doesn't seem to have that support. So there's a lot of, unless you like playing those VR chat type games and you want that face tracking, then get it, yeah. But get it secondhand even. Because I got mine secondhand, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it cost me 700 bones or something like that, so it was absolutely brilliant. But take the Quest 3 is going to be 500 bones, and the Quest Pro 700 bones, and the Quest 3 only is missing the controllers and the eye tracking. But at the same time, it gains a better processor and it has better pass-through. From what the color pass through on it is supposed to be a lot better than the Quest Pro, and it has a depth sensor as well, which will be pretty good. I think that would make it better than the Quest Pro. Not that the Quest Pro was that bad at doing that, but it looked terrible through the pass through. It was very grainy. The Quest Pro is very grainy. The stuff you see in VR looks clear as day, obviously, but your environment is very grainy. So the Quest Pro, and obviously, only you get the Apple if you're, got the money for it. If you're a very wealthy person, you earn a lot of money, and you want the Apple headset, and you're not too bothered about the lack of probably games and etc. Get it, obviously, because it's definitely the leading VR headset at the moment for what it offers, and from what we've been told that it can do or what it looks like. So, yeah, but don't try to put a swear jar out and hope that you're going to get to 3,500 bones anytime soon, unless you're somebody that swears in every single sentence. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.